So you got a story you want to tell, but it feels like you got to move mountains in order to bring it to life. Maybe you made a short film in the past that didn't turn out so well, given the time, the money, the energy you put into it. Maybe you have another calling card type idea you want to make, but you're having constant delays with people's schedules. Your friends never seem to be available to help out. You're working around the whole 9-to-5 grind, right? And then maybe in the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking, what if I'm out here spending all this energy and all this time and I wind up making something that nobody wants to see? You might be feeling like when it comes to making your films, you're either all gas or all brakes. You're either betting it all on black with this cool idea you're really excited to make, or you can't bring yourself to make anything because you haven't quite found the perfect idea that gets you going, right? You haven't found something worth making. And then as time goes by, you start to anxiously wonder, can I even do this or am I kidding myself? Is this all just a pipe dream? So let me stop you there, okay? Don't run for the hills just yet. There is something else you can do in the meantime, in between time. There is a way to make short films that allow you to work smarter, not harder, around your busy schedule so you can make progress and keep sharpening your axe. Lean, mean, shootable projects. Okay? Every time you shoot, you're gonna learn a ton, even on the smallest projects. There are plenty of reasons to do lean, mean, shootable projects or LMSPs. You can do them when bigger projects fall through, or you just don't have time to do the ambitious stuff with your schedule. Maybe you got a few kids. You can do them to sharpen your skills and your confidence. They're a great way to practice the craft. I have done them for all of the above. I have my own sort of step-by-step process for doing LMSPs, sort of evolved over the years. So here is my 10-step process for making lean, mean, shootable projects. It's time-tested and proven at this point. It's gotten me great results. I share these with my students. It's gotten them great results. I've shared these with past clients I've consulted. It's gotten them great results. Pretty proven at this point. It works because it's not rocket science, okay? We are not curing cancer here. It's a very common sense approach to making films around busy schedules like mine, like yours. Even simple projects can fall apart if they're missing one or more of these 10 steps. But more specifically, they're almost always failing due to one of these steps in particular, okay? By the end of this video, you'll probably be able to guess which step I'm referring to before I even say it. So I wanna run through all 10 steps of this step-by-step process. We're just gonna go boom, 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 boom in order. The order of things is essential. This is the order that I found to work best over the years. So if you're listening and you're like, wait, this is kinda out of order, just trust me, just roll with it, okay? It all makes sense by the end. Step 1, start where you are with what you have. This is more of a mindset thing. Use what you currently have, no excuses. Your gear or lack thereof isn't the reason why nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done because you're not starting where you are with what you have. That's why nothing's getting done. If you're really itching to buy something new, then you gotta shoot something first before you can buy something new. Remember that old shoot to buy rule? Okay. Step number 2, list your resources and then work backwards. So you wanna start with your immediate resources. Your film should be 1 to 2 locations max, and these should be locations you already have control over or locations you already have access to, right? Like your house, where you work. You wanna list actors or non-actors or people you know who are interested in acting, but maybe, you know, not classically trained kind of thing. Somebody who'd be willing to step in front of camera for you. Add them to the list. And then you wanna back into a story based on the resources you've already got. Step number 3, adjust your media diet. You should be very intentional about the media that you consume because it directly affects your creativity. Input equals output. You don't believe me? Try watching nothing but horror films for the next 2 weeks and see how many ideas you get for that romantic comedy you're thinking of making. Make a plan to watch the media that you intend to create. If you're creating a short film, you should be watching short films, etc., etc. When you align your media diet with what you're actually doing, everything is just gonna run so much smoother. Your creative machine runs much smoother when you feed it the correct inputs, okay? Step number 4, aim for 10 pages or less for that story. We need to plan on making a manageable project from go. For instance, a script that's 10 pages or less, that's manageable. It's possible to shoot 3 to 5 pages in one day if you're shooting an LMSP. So you can get a lean, mean, shootable project done in 2 to 3 days. Basically, you could shoot it over a weekend, but only if it's like 10 pages or less. Okay. Notice we haven't even gotten into story yet. The first 4 steps are all about the approach. Step number 5, write about what's relatable. Exposition and backstory are your sworn enemies when it comes to short films. You just don't have a lot of time for it. We hate writing it. Audiences hate watching it. We can just sidestep all of this by sticking to what's relatable. Step number 6, filmable goal. Your protagonist should have a clear, filmable goal. It should be something we can see on camera. This makes visual storytelling so much easier. You're also gonna need this all day, every day to create things like suspense and tension. Step number 7, the filmable obstacle. What is it? We need to figure out what that filmable obstacle is. Again, this should be something we can see on camera. This is gonna make visual storytelling much easier. Make sure your protagonist is active. No victims or passive characters, please. Make sure your protagonist is active. They're taking some sort of action to solve the problem. They don't have to be successful. Active characters are more engaging to watch because they actually do stuff, okay? Technical term. Because they actually do something, there is something to watch. Okay. Step number 9, minimize the chit chat. Once you've written your story, go back through and remove as much dialogue as humanly possible. No exaggeration, like just pull as much dialogue out as you can. Here are all the reasons why. Dialogue is actually a pain to write. Everybody thinks they're Tarantino till you get in the editing room, okay? Dialogue is a pain to shoot. One of the biggest time goblins on a project is shooting scenes with lots of dialogue. You can expect to burn through a lot of takes on performance alone. Less dialogue equals less takes equals less time equals faster shoots, okay? Person who has a full 9-to-5 grind, busy schedule, who doesn't have a whole lot of time for this. And if you're working with great actors, they can give you good stuff with or without dialogue. If you're working with non-actors or inexperienced actors, they're not gonna wanna memorize all your dialogue anyways. They're not gonna wanna memorize any of the dialogue anyway. You essentially have nothing to lose and everything to gain by pulling out as much dialogue as you can. Step 10, be prepared to shoot solo or crew minimal if necessary. Now, this doesn't mean you'll never hire a crew or you can't use a crew, okay? Not saying that. It just means if you called your buddies to help you make a thing and they duck out at the last minute because, schedule complications with work, what have you, you've architected the project in such a fashion that you could still do it. And you set yourself up for success by following the other 9 steps we just covered. Again, we're just going back to that common sense approach to getting things done. You will find all of these steps inside my Lean, Mean, Shootable Project step-by-step guide. One of these steps gets overlooked all day, every day, twice on a Sunday, leading to one of the biggest time goblins that can easily steal years of progress from you if you're not careful. And I bet you've already guessed which step it is. Step number 10. If you're not willing to shoot solo as a last resort, then you will always be at the mercy of other people's schedules. When you say I can't shoot because I don't have a budget, I don't have time, I don't have gear, I don't have a crew, or I don't have actors, you're kind of looking for loopholes to justify inaction, okay? Don't do that. At the end of the day, you can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. You don't need a crew to shoot a scene. You don't need a crew to shoot a 1-person microfilm that takes place in one location. You don't have to have a crew for that. Or you can click the link below to get my step-by-step guide for creating lean, mean, shootable projects. So I know many of you are stuck with the 9-to-5 grind, and even when you have time, you get a little bit of that work week hangover and it's just hard to be motivated to make stuff. This guide will help you get done with all of that in mind. Okay? And remember, when you get the fundamentals down, the level of everything you do will rise. If you're a new writer, director, or you're just getting into narrative film, you should definitely check this video out next, where I point all the biggest mistakes that I see new filmmakers making that I've seen over the past 15 years. If you're aware of these bad boys, because you're gonna make mistakes, it is what it is, that's how we learn. But if you're at least aware of a majority of the biggest mistakes, it's really gonna save you time, money, and energy. Okay? And I'll see you over there.